We'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order at 9:03 a.m. We'll begin with a roll call.
Golden. Winfrey.
Here.
Ellenberg. Here. Clemens.
Present.
Young.
Excused.
Shoemaker.
Present.
Davis.
Present.
Newman. Here. Pepin.
Here, Davison, Michigan.
Right, we do have a quorum that'll move us on to invocation by Commissioner Pepin and the pledge to the flag.
Heavenly Father, open our eyes to the needs of our brothers and sisters. Inspire in us words and actions that comfort those who labor and are burdened. May we serve them truly after the example of Christ and at his command. And may your church stand as a living witness to truth and freedom, peace and justice, so that all people may be raised up to a new hope. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag of the United States of America
and to the
and to
republic
the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with
and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Next is the approval of the draft minutes from the October 27th meeting. It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion or changes to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved. That'll move us on to public address to the board. If anyone wishes to address the board, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please state your name and your city of residence, and your time will begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John Gleason, actually the Secretary of the County Board of Commissioners is my title when you guys are in session. As Secretary to this commission, I wanted to make a few remarks about the recent canvassing and some of the notoriety that's been brought to our community. I'm going to remind you of what I said 2 weeks ago, when I asked you to take strong consideration on the appointment of the Board of Canvassers. That was a serious statement, and I hope I delivered it in a serious fashion. We have to take these jobs seriously. No matter how menial, there can be serious consequences, and we have seen the result of that. There was a unanimous vote for the Board of Canvass member. I spoke to Corporation Counsel, and it was advised that you do not have to make a vote to rescind that. If I was sitting in your chair, the number of years that I've been in office, if there's a formal vote taken on an action, I would do everything I could to have a historical and an enduring document that I rescinded that vote. So I'm asking you to see about rescinding that vote on a candidate that did not qualify for that position. I think it's the appropriate, contrary to the advice I was given, but I would do that. You're going to have on the record a vote to appoint someone without full regard to the qualifications. There was a lot of oversight in regard to that. You guys are given names that are forwarded to our office from the parties, and then you vote on those names. I did make a call to the chairman and another county employee about taking a close look at the names that were presented. That was prior to my advisement to you to take a look at that appointment.
Time has expired.
So I understand, but this is county business, not public comment, if I could be taking
Then
that.
shouldn't it be handled in county business then, later on? We can speak later.
This is public comment
That's
time.
fine, if you tell me where you'd like me to go.
I think at the end of the meeting would probably be appropriate then.
Yep, we can make sure
Okay.
you have time.
Anyways, if I could just take another moment to close. I just want to say in closing, thank you to all the veterans, all those that serve as peace officers across this country. And may we all take into high consideration what tomorrow means. It's not a day off, it's a day on. Every single one of my uncles served their nation in uniform. And I'd like to thank all those that did, and particularly those that gave the extreme sacrifice, those that gave the most, okay? Thank you, God bless.
Thank you.
Tanya, Prim, Richfield Township. I'm sure some of the commissioners here wish they could go back to the days when the public generally ignored Board of Commissioners meetings, and they made decisions based on their own opinions and wishes. Unfortunately, the decisions they are making right now violate morals, ethics, and federal, state, and local laws. So here we are again. Until the commissioners put a stop to Dr. Hackert's illegal and immoral mandates, you'll be seeing us at every single meeting we can possibly attend. Tests and masks are both still only authorized for emergency use. Therefore, masks should not be mandatory, and test results should not be used to justify any policies like masking, contact tracing, and quarantine or isolation. The health officer does not have unilateral authority to do anything to try to mitigate the spread of infections. She only has authority to make decisions according to the existing laws. Emergencies only give her the power to put in place procedures governing her department. She has no power to enforce mandates on individuals. Dr. Hackert's mask mandate for school children also violates the recently enacted bill prohibiting such a policy. All board members who are not actively involved in doing everything in their power to put a stop to Dr. Hackert's overreach are complicit in her wrongdoing. Please consider this and act accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Michelle Grosjer from Search Creek. I just want to let you know that I'll be sending you a 52 to 54 page study regarding masks, all-day masking, and its impact on physical and mental health. You may or may not be aware that suicide attempts and suicide are up 51% in females between the ages of 12 and 17, 4% in males. Not sure why there's such a difference there. I haven't had time to check into that, but I know there is a variety of factors that would cause that hike, and part of it is that we are no longer normal. When you're in a mask all day long at school, it's not normal. Have you worn a mask and still gotten COVID? I know a lot of people who are masked up and still gotten COVID. I know people who've been vaccinated. I've spoken with many working in the capacity that I do who've actually been vaccinated and still have gotten COVID, passed away too. Friends I know who've lost loved ones who are vaccinated, and I'm sad about that, no doubt. That is, I don't discount the sadness of how this affects everybody, how it affects everybody. But I do want to tell you that I will be forwarding this study, and I know Commissioner Pepin prays that we make the right choices. The right choices should be based on what we as parents know to be right for each individual child. I have 7 children, and my choices are not the same for each of them. We know what's best for their mental and physical health, and how our expectations of them affect them.
Your time has expired.
Okay, I appreciate your considering my forthcoming email and the studies attached. Thank you.
Holger Spiewak, Davison, Michigan. I have before me a official note from the Berrien County Health Department that states the Berrien County Health Department is being forced to rescind the September 1 public health order requiring the use of masks by individuals in pre-kindergarten through grade 12 indoor education settings or face loss of nearly $1.5 million in budget. The order is rescinded as of 11:59 p.m. tonight. The decision comes Wednesday on the heels of Governor Whitmer signing the 2022 state budget to avoid a loss of funding for essential local public health services threatened in language language included in Senate Bill 82, House Bill 4400. According to these bills, any health department that has issued an emergency order in attempt to combat COVID-19, including or enacting or enforcing or an order requiring masks by anyone in the school setting will be negatively impacted financially. Although Governor Whitmer stated that this language was unconstitutional, Berrien County legal counselors have advised it stands until proven otherwise in court of law. My question is, if other counties understand that this law that Governor Whitmer signed in effect is valid, why does our county not follow this law? Thank you.
April Snyder from Grand Blanc. So you passed a resolution that tells me that you were for the choice of people getting the vaccination or not. If you're for the choice of that, you should be for the choice of mask. That's what our country was built on. Everybody keeps saying that they can't change the law. It wasn't them that did it. It was, Whitmer is saying she signed this, the Hackert's doing this. You guys, everybody's hands are tied. We've talked to our superintendent. Clearly, we have started talking. We have started doing our research. We know that other people are talking to their superintendents. They're afraid if they cancel the mandate, they're going to get sued. They're afraid if they don't go with the health department, they're going to get sued. Somebody has to step up. Somebody has to start doing the right thing. We're not going away. I know they in government keep hoping that we are, and we keep hoping you're going to do the right thing. Somebody has got to do something to get these kids unmasked. If you have any power whatsoever, have you sat down and had a conversation with Hackert? Have you said, we want them to have choice? Does she know how you feel? Don't be afraid. If that's how you feel, stand up. We are limited with our power. You guys have the power. You can do so much more than we can do. Our school boards, we're begging our school boards to start sending letters and asking them not to be afraid. They don't want the masks, but they're not standing up because they're afraid of getting ridiculed or having people upset. We've got to start doing the right thing.
Good morning, Lindsey Spiewak from Davison, Michigan. So first of all, I just want to take time to thank Commissioner Clemens. Thank you so much for voting for medical freedom. I appreciate that. It sounded like a lot of people said that you had talked to them and you really sought to understand, and I thank you for that and the time that you've given to the people. Ellen Ellenberg, also I want to thank you. I know it was personal for you with your daughter being in the medical field. Winfrey, you as well. Thank you so much, Commissioner Winfrey. I know you said you've been vaccinated yourself, but you wanted to give people the freedom of choice. I'll be honest, you three commissioners, we were unsure of how you would vote. And thank you for choosing the people's choice. I appreciate the fact that you've chosen freedom for us. Thank you very much to you three. I want to take time to thank this police officer back here. If we could turn our attention to Officer Stam. I want to thank him because I came to 5 commissioner meetings and I called out my Commissioner Gary Pepin. After 9 emails, 4 phone calls, and 5 meetings, it took that officer to come over here and stand here and ask Gary Pepin to connect with me and communicate with me, which is really, really sad. So after going back through his emails, of course, Commissioner Pepin found my 9 emails that were sitting in his mailbox. I'm sure if he were to go through his voicemails, my 4 voicemails would be there as well. He lied to me over in that corner, told me he never received any of my communication, but then when he went back through, he did find them. So I had email communication with Mr. Pepin because I wanted to know, he said he voted no for medical freedom, and I wanted to know how he communicated with his District 9 constituents to come to that opinion because he's a representation of the people in District 9. So after multiple communications with him, I have to reword my question. Gary, again, let me reword my question to get a more specific answer. You said you talked to a large cross-section of the population here in District 9 about this medical autonomy. Specifically, how did you communicate with these people? Here's his response. Hi, Lindsey. I will not be able to give you that information you have requested. I do not keep daily logs of the people I talk to. Where I talked to them, and the subject of our conversation, it would be inappropriate for me to disclose this information as it is a breach of my constituents' privacy. You guys, I have called him, emailed him, and showed up to commissioners' meetings. It is absolutely unacceptable to have a commissioner ignore his constituents like this. I'm appalled that this is allowed.
Good morning, Commissioners. Debbie Zofko, Vienna Township. I hadn't planned to comment today, but as I was making my way here and I rounded the corner onto Court Street, and I was suddenly kind of overcome with emotion, I was thinking about my friend, my good friend, Kim. She's losing her job this week. And then I thought about all the other nurses that are losing their jobs this week. Kim is one of my dearest friends ever. If you want a friend, you want a friend like Kim. So now she's, actively trying to find a job someplace, and I just want to pay tribute to them and thank them today for their service. They served all through COVID. They were good enough to serve then. They were good enough to serve then when everybody was freaking out and everybody was scared. They stood in the line of fire for all of us. They were there. They were there ready to take care of us when we were sick, if we were unfortunate enough to become that sick, to be hospitalized. And now we throw them away. We throw them away because of a ridiculous mandate that is totally un-American, unconstitutional. The world should be ashamed. But I thank them. I thank them for their care and their service, and that they served until the very end, until the hospital was ready to walk them out, take their badges. It's despicable. So thank you to all the nurses, all the first responders, all the healthcare workers. Thank you.
Good morning, Arthur Woodson, 402 West Stewart Avenue, Flint, Michigan. I'm here to speak about race. Over in Mount Morris Township, Gail Armstrong, which is the treasurer, and Ashley, which is the clerk, filed a police report claiming that Mr. Greg Eason tried to hit them with his cane. They didn't know that the videos was working in that office, and it showed something totally different. But they filed a police report. How many white women said that a black man raped them back in the day, and that black man got lynched because they lied? How many cities was burnt down because a white woman said on the elevator that a black man groped them, and that city was burnt down and bombed? I give you an example, 1921 Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now let's fast forward to 2021, where Ms. Armstrong filed a false police report. What would have happened if those cameras wasn't working and they filed that police report? Would that black man be in jail right now? Mr. Layton, I know you don't like to play politics with your office, but this isn't politics. This is making an example of people filing false police reports, and you know that the judicial system, we feel, is not built for black individuals, African Americans. And we must talk about this. We have race issues over at the road commissions. We have race issues over at Westwood Heights. We have race issues dealing with the water crisis here in the city of Flint. We have race issues. That is something that we can talk about, and it's not using a race card. And Mr. Mark Young, all of us need to get together and protest Mr. Mark Young because he is behind a lot of this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Flint, Michigan. I'm Mario Mitchell, and I'm a water warrior over at the City Hall of Flint. And the race issue about Miss Fields on the east side, you see Eric May had to give her some me time because she shut the whole city of Flint down because everybody's scared to talk about this race issue. And I want the city of Flint, you got to step up because that's democracy. Because the democracy in this year one, but year two coming in. And Josh, I just want to put the the people's got to come up and speak up because Ms. Fields going to take over this whole city if you don't say that. No, that's all.
Thanks, Ariel.
Thank you.
Ariel Mitchell.
Good morning. I don't know, are we saying her name still or what?
If you could, please,
Okay,
yes.
Sandy Jobin. Sure you guys all know me by now. All I got to say is you guys got to wake up, make sure you're on the right side, and get these masks off these kids. The damaging that you're doing psychologically is unheard of. But soon you'll find out, as you've been watching the news, whether the mainstream media wants to give it to you or not, is that the people are rising up, and they're coming against the people that are going against them. And there's more of us than there is of you. And the sad thing is that we should be fighting the same side, because these are the same people that were in charge of your water. And they took the way out, the cheapest way out, and cost your kids, every one of you, the problems that they're having now. But yet you put your faith in these people. Somebody try to make sense of this. You give one person a raise that's unheard of. Why the police are begging to be even paid for. They're the ones that's putting their life on the line. You're not. You're sitting up there pushing a button and trying to figure out which way I can pass the buck. This is ridiculous. The families that are involved in all sides of the voting, from every part of it, you're going to find out that this is all a big scam. CDC has already come out. Italy, 97% has been taken away from COVID. So now there is less than a seasonal flu of death. Look it up.
10 seconds.
NIH says ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine works. All you have to do is have a preventative.
Your time has expired.
The shots, good luck. Take your third one, and we won't have to worry about a recall.
Any other member of the public wishing to address the board?
Morning. I'm Leonard Martin. I'm from Richfield Township, 9th District. I've been sitting there listening and thinking. I've been to many of your meetings. I've spoken here before. You have enough information. You hired Hackett. The buck stops here. Our children's identities are being stolen all over mandates that are unconstitutional, illegal, and you all know it because you have the information. Do what's right for the people. The people are being destroyed. Our youth are in dire straits. It's an emergency, but it's not a COVID emergency. It's a health emergency brought about by your agreeing with Hackett. Pepin, you need to resign. You're not representing the 9th District. Thank you.
Tara Phillips, Linden, Michigan. I wasn't prepared to say anything today, but I just find I can't keep my mouth shut. I just want to present a part of a document that the WHO put out. Now, some might say this retains to third world countries, but let me just let you know that before the Linden High School football game versus Fenton, there was some of our kids that were tested without parental consent for COVID. This was brought up 3 times. On last Wednesday's board meeting, I asked, has this been addressed yet? It's been brought up 3 times, and I have yet to get an answer from them. Has this been addressed with our principal, with our AD? I mean, we need to get consent to have our kids' pictures taken. And they're doing COVID testing on our kids without consent. This is sickening. So let me just read from you the WHO document. It's number 3, an implied consent process by which parents are informed or immediate vaccination through social mobilization and communication, sometimes including letters directly addressed to the parents. Subsequently, the physical presence of the child or adolescent with or without an accompanied parent at a vaccination session is considered to imply consent. What are we reading here? This practice is based on the opt-out principle, and parents who do not consent to vaccination are expected implicitly to take steps to ensure that their child or adolescent does not participate in the
10 seconds.
vaccination session. This may include not letting the child or adolescent attend school on vaccination day if vaccination delivery occurs through schools.
Your time has expired.
My kid won't be in school that day. Sickening that this is happening. Lawsuits.
Hello, my name is Sherry Martin. I'm from Richfield Township. First of all, I would like to ask the board why they tolerate a member of this committee not making it to meetings and stuff and representing their district. To me, I get that Gary Pepin has been sick. I can have all the empathy, sympathy, compassion in a situation like that. But if you cannot do your job, why does this committee tolerate that, and why is our district just left totally unrepresented? He should be man enough to say, I cannot do this job, and step down. There shouldn't have to be recalls. Okay, so that's one issue. Second, the thing with the COVID, I think when all of this is gone by, we're going to find out that there was a lot of money behind the scenes moving around that we currently may not see, may not know, but it will be exposed. It's biblical. The truth will come out. Okay? The next thing that I'd like to address is the salary that was approved at the last meeting. I'm appalled. I cannot believe that this board supported that. And a good leader makes sure that the people under them are taken care of. This man doesn't do that. He makes sure his own ass is taken care of. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, I am so mad and angry about that salary. It is inexcusable. Shame on this committee.
Any other public comment? Public comment twice. Public comment is now closed. That will move us on to communications, the emergency purchase for repairs to the exterior of the Genesee County Jail.
That communication is on file in our office and available as part of the agenda.
Thank you. Next is our reports under Board of Commissioners. Resolution 2021-1002. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any that are opposed? The motion is adopted. Section B, Community and Economic Development. There are no items. Is there a report from the chair?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Section C, Finance Committee, Chairperson Gary Pepin.
You're muted, Gary.
First one is Resolution 2021-977. Approval of a purchase order to Oliver Packaging for the fiscal year ending 2022 in the amount not to exceed $210,000.
Gary, can we move 1 through 6?
It's fine with me.
Support.
Been moved and supported to move items 1 through 6. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of finance items 1 through 6 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The resolutions are adopted. Next section, governmental operations, Chairperson Bryant Nolden.
Yes, can we move 1 through 7, please?
Support.
Items 1 through 7 have been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? The motion is adopted. Section E, Human Services, Charles Winfrey, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairman. At this time, I'd like to move items E1 through 6.
Support.
It has been moved and supported to move items 1 through 6. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of items 1 through 6 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is adopted. Public Works Committee, Chairperson Dominique Clemens, Vice Chair Commissioner Sean Shoemaker. Commissioner Shoemaker.
I would like to move items 1 through 6, if it pleases the board.
It has been moved and supported to move items 1 through 6. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That moves us on to unfinished business. There is nothing under unfinished business. It'll take us to new and miscellaneous business.
Chair, I was just wondering if Mr. Gleason was still here to finish his comments. We told him.
He left.
Oh, well, then, okay.
All right, well, since the clerk has left, we will move on. Is there any other business that any commissioner would like to bring before the body? Seeing none, we stand adjourned at 9:34 a.m.
Next is finance, right?
Yep, give us a second, we gotta get something loaded into the system that we got late.